Om. 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 साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Sairam everyone. For those of you who don't know, I think Arno Anna is not available today, and hence I and Kalyani sister will kind of facilitate the session. Over to you, Kalyani sister.
Sairam, everyone. Last time, what we were discussing in Sathya Sai Vahini, we had initially talked about the importance of the Vedas, and then the later texts that followed the Vedas. And specifically, last time, Swami was mentioning the Prasthanatraya, which consists of the Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and Bhagavad Gita. Swami had mentioned that these are essential and they hold utmost importance in philosophical literature. And we discussed that they're not mutually contradictory, and each one is based on the preceding principles. So that's where we were, and we can maybe read the last slide. So I will read it. As authoritative texts of the basic beliefs of Bharatiya culture in the spiritual field, the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutra, and the Bhagavad Gita, the Prasthanatraya, or the three sources, have to be reckoned. Many in India feel that Advaita Vedanta alone is the correct one, but this attitude is not correct. The Upanishads are the very voice of Ishvara. The Brahma Sutra is the supreme embodiment of the principles and doctrine propounded by Vyasa. It is the most important of the texts depicting philosophical doctrines. It harmonizes the entire body of philosophic beliefs. Though based on earlier texts and dissertations, there is no conflict between the earlier and later. In the aphorisms of the Brahma Sutras, each conclusion attains fulfillment and reconciliation. The Bhagavad Gita acts like a commentary provided by God for Vedanta.
Thank you, sister. Any questions, any thoughts on this passage? You have completed the Telugu portion of it already, right?
Yeah, I have read it. I have already read it.
Okay.
You want me to read it again?
No, Auntie, if you have covered already, I think
We
we
have
can move
covered
to the
it.
next passage, unless we don't have any questions on this.
Yeah.
All sects of Hinduism who claim to be authentic and orthodox accept the three sources as their basic texts, whether they are Advaitins, Vishishtadvaitins, or Advaitins, dualists, qualified non-dualists, or non-dualists. Whoever desired to propagate a new interpretation or a new attitude or theory, Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhvacharya, Vallabhacharya, or Chaitanya, had to propagate it through commentaries from that standpoint on the three sources, the Prasthanatraya only. Therefore, to assert that Vedanta can be used only with reference to the Upanishads and the doctrines that they teach will be a great mistake.
Okay. Shall I read the Telugu?
Yes, Auntie.
ఆస్తిక మతములని చెప్పుకొను హైందవ మతములన్నీ
all the sects of Hinduism which believe in God,
ద్వైతము కానీ విశిష్టాద్వైతము కానీ అద్వైతము కానీ ఉపనిషత్తులను వ్యాస సూత్రాలను భగవద్గీతను ప్రమాణములుగా అంగీకరించుచున్నవి.
whether it is Dvaita, dualism, non-dualism, or qualified non-dualism, all of them have their basis as all of them have agreed to have their basis as Bhagavad Gita.
వాటన్నిటికీ ప్రస్థానత్రయమే ఆధారము.
For all of them, Prasthanastrayas stand as their foundation.
నూతన సిద్ధాంతమును ఒకదానిని ప్రతిపాదింప సంకల్పించిన వారందరూ
all those who have tried to adopt to new philosophies,
అనగా శంకర, రామానుజ, మధ్వాచార్య, వల్లభాచార్య, చైతన్య ఇత్యాది వారందరూ
all the gurus such as Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vallabhacharya, or Chaitanya Mahagurus, and similarly, and likes of such,
వారందరూ ఈ ప్రస్థానత్రయమునకు ఇంకొక భాష్యమును రచించవలసి వచ్చెను.
they all had to write commentaries on this Prasthanatrayas again.
కావున ఉపనిషత్తుల ఆధారంపై నిర్మింపబడిన ఒక్క సిద్ధాంతమునకు మాత్రమే వేదాంత శబ్దము వర్తించును అని చెప్పట కేవల పొరపాటు.
Therefore, I think the translation here is right. To assert that Vedanta can be used only with the reference to the word Upanishads would not be right to say.
That's it.
Which chapter is it, Auntie, in Telugu? Is it 12th or? Auntie, you're on mute. Sorry. Yes. Sairam. So, any thoughts, any questions? I think Swami is saying that the Prasthanatrayas are the basis of all the commentaries also that we see today from the great gurus like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and the likes. And Bhagavad Gita is the source of all the doctrines that we see today. Dvaita, Advaita, Visishtadvaita, anything that is based, they're all sourced from Bhagavad Gita as their foundation, is what Swami is telling in this passage. Any thoughts, any questions that we can discuss and learn from this passage?
Some people started saying that only Vedanta Shabda, the Shabdam Vedantam can be referred only to ఉపనిషత్తులపై ఆధారంపై నిర్మింపబడిన ఒక్క సిద్ధాంతమునకు మాత్రమే వేదాంత శబ్దము వర్తించును.
Swami said vartinchunu?
Yeah, vartinchunu. It qualifies it. Vartinchunu is?
Yes. Vartinchunu means, it belongs only to that, is what Swami is telling. Can you read that sentence again, Auntie? Sorry.
ఈ ప్రస్థానత్రయమునకు ఇంకొక భాష్యమును రచించవలసి అబౌట్ శంకర, రామానుజ, మధ్వాచార్య. కావున ఉపనిషత్తుల ఆధారముపై నిర్మింపబడిన ఒక్క సిద్ధాంతమునకు మాత్రమే వేదాంత శబ్దము వర్తించును. They called only one siddhanta which was dependent on Upanishad. They called it only Vedanta. They called it. But
only that alone can be called as Vedanta, is what is saying. The doctrines that they teach will be a great mistake. But this translation, what do you think, Auntie? Is it right here? to assert that Vedanta can be used only with reference to the Upanishads and the doctrines that they teach will be a great mistake.
It's a great mistake.
Okay.
So when Swami saying Kevalamu Porapatu, that means it's a mistake?
It's a mistake.
Okay. So I think in the previous paragraph, Swami started by saying some people in Bharat believe that Advaita Vedanta alone is the correct Vedanta. But Swami saying no, all of these different ones, the Dvaita, Vishishta Advaita, and Advaita, all of them are correct.
Correct. From each one's point of view, they have interpreted. So one cannot be called only the authentic source. All these have got the same, but in their point of view, what is the interpretation they have given? Dvaitins or Vishishta Dvaitins or Advaitins.
I think Sister Ranjani had her hand up.
Which one?
Sister Ranjani?
Sister.
It isn't dropped off. That's why I didn't bring up.
Sorry, it's a mistake.
Oh.
Yeah, that's okay, sister. So I have one question, just to go ahead. Aruna, sister.
Is that sentence is right? Or if it's right, can you elaborate little on that, please? Because it says Vedanta can be used with a reference to the Upanishads. Isn't it part of Upanishads is part of the Vedanta? Kind of we look at it. Can you explain that sentence a little more, please? If anybody add some elaboration to that, please. Thank you, Sairam.
So your question is about the last sentence, auntie, sister?
Yeah, last sentence, Vedanta.
Okay.
Vedanta. Upanishads are a part of the Vedas.
Yes, that's the thing.
You know that.
Yeah.
But people started asserting that only the thing which is with reference to Upanishad must be called only Vedanta. The word Vedanta, Vedka Ant, that's the final part.
Anta, yeah, at the end, yeah.
So, but that is the declared, it's a declared statement by the words is called Vedanta or Siddhanta. They call it Siddhanta. But why should it be called only? What about Dvaitins and Vishishta Dvaitins? What are they trying to do? Why should it not be called Vedanta? I mean, Vedanta. Why should it not be called Vedanta? That's the question which comes. And now, Aruna, your question is?
Yeah, my question is to understand little more on the why, what basis they're saying the Vedanta can be used with reference to the Upanishads.
I think
The following paragraph,
Yeah,
Swami explains it.
Yeah,
Sitaram,
to explain a little more on that, because I thought Vedanta is ultimately the end is the Upanishads, which is the essence of Veda, right? That's the Vedanta kind of. But in this sentence, is kind of coming out something different. That's what I'm trying to understand here.
I think the translation is not that accurate. Like from what I'm understanding from the Telugu, and I have like a ChatGPT translation. I will just read that. Maybe it will make more sense. So I think Swami is saying it is completely a mistake to say that the word Vedanta applies only to one single philosophy built on the foundation of the Upanishads. So if we say only this Advaita Vedanta, which is built on the foundation of the Upanishads, we can only call that as Vedanta. That would be a mistake. But, Vishishta Advaita and Dvaita, they are also built on the foundation of Upanishads.
Okay, that particular sentence the elaboration is missing. Okay, I got it. Thank you. So you cannot say this one Dvaita or Advaita or Visishtha Advaita is only with that Vedanta part, right? It's all comes.
Yes.
Okay. Great, thanks.
Yeah, I had one question. So as Swami's devotees, to which sect do we belong? Or do we belong to any sect at all? Any thoughts, any comments on that? We all claim to be at least part of Sri Sathya Sai Seva organizations. We may not call ourselves devotees yet unless he certifies us. But which sect do we all belong to? He's smiling. Any questions, any thoughts on that? Any comments? What do you all think based on this interpretation that Swami has given? I think the answer is in first statement here, but just to spur the discussion.
I think Swami is later also going through what each of them mean, like what is Vishittadvaita, what is Dvaita, and how would one think in those philosophies. So I think in my personal opinion, I feel that Swami within one discourse, even from one sentence to the next, I think he flows seamlessly through all these three philosophies. That's the sense that I get.
Yeah.
Thank you, sister, for sharing your
You will,
thoughts.
as a one word Swami used before is the Hindus accept all these threes, right? So that's the way we will, Swami's devotees will look at it, because Swami before also said we are, if we look at it differently, that is not right either. So they are also that's a progress kind of. They are from Dvaita to Visistadvaita to Advaita. It's a progress. So in that sense, yeah, all three is to be accepted. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, sister. Any other thoughts? Okay. I think if you're all good, then we'll move to the next passage, sister.
All conclusions drawn from the Prasthana are genuine and deserve the name Vedanta. Vishishta Advaita, as well as Dvaita, have as much claim to be known as Vedanta as Advaita. This unity in diversity, this harmony in difference, this is the core of the current of Bharatiya thought. There is milk in the body of the cow. The milk has ghee in it, but the cow cannot derive any strength through that ghee. The milk has to be taken out of the animal, it has to be boiled, and a little sour curd poured into it in order to curdle it. Then, when the milk is transformed into curds, it has to be churned and butter separated and rolled. Afterwards, the butter has to be melted and clarified to get the ghee. The ghee thus prepared can be fed to the cow, and then it would be rendered stronger. So too, just consider God is omnipresent, yet he is not amenable to man unless man does sadhana.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful example.
Yeah.
Manyanti.
Okay. Anyu Vedanta Matamule. So he was previous sentence.
He's continuing that.
Yeah, continuing. It's a mistake to call other only Advaita Vedanta is the word Vedanta applies only to Advaita. That's wrong.
Yes.
Anyu Vedanta Matamule.
All belong to Vedanta only, all sects. Or Matamulu means actually religions, but I think he's referring to
Here referring
the
to
Dvaita, Advaita, and Visishta Advaita
different philosophies. I think
qualifications.
Swami is mentioning.
Yes.
వేదాంత నామమును వహించుటకు అద్వైతికి ఎంత అధికారము కలదో అంత అధికారము విశిష్ట అద్వైతికి కూడా కలదు.
The power or the qualification that an Advaiti has to bear the name of Vedanta, a Visishtadvaiti also has an equal authority to hold that name as Vedanta.
అంతేకాదు ద్వైతికి కూడా కలదు.
Not only that, even Dvaiti also has that authority.
ఇదియే పవిత్ర అపురూప అంతరార్థముతో కూడినది.
This is an inner meaning which is sacred and which is beyond form.
ఏకాత్మ భావన నిరూపించునది భారతీయ పరమార్థ వాహిని.
The Bharatiya Paramartha Vahini is that which professes about the unity, the feeling of unity, which is that right,
Oneness.
auntie? Or
Can we say
oneness.
oneness? ఆవు శరీరమునందు పాలు ఉన్నాయి.
The body of a cow contains milk.
ఆ పాలులో నెయ్యి ఉన్నది.
Milk contains ghee.
ఆయన ఆ నెయ్యితో బలము రాదు.
However, that ghee will not give you strength.
ఆ పాలును ఆవు నుండి వేరు చేసి
You have to first separate the milk from the cow.
అనగా పితికి కాచి తోడుపెట్టి పెరుగు అయిన తర్వాత దానిని చిలికి వెన్న వేరు చేసి,
Which means you'll have to boil the milk and put in sour curd into that, so that you'll have to curdle it. Chilike means what, auntie?
చిలికి
What did you use?
చర్నింగ్ అప్ప.
Churning, yes. Then the curd has to be churned so that you can separate out the butter.
దానినే తిరిగి కాచిన నెయ్యి కాగలదు.
Once that is boiled, it becomes ghee.
ఆ నెయ్యినే మళ్ళీ ఆవునకు త్రాపించిన ఆవుకు చక్కని బలము కలుగును.
If the cow is fed with the same, if that derived ghee out, the cow gets required strength.
అలాగే సర్వేశ్వరుడు సర్వాంతర్యామి అయినా
The same way, when though God is present everywhere,
ఉపచారములు లేకుండా మానవుల్లో హితము చేయచాలుడు.
without performing spiritual effort and related activities, he cannot confer good in human beings.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Unless man does sadhana.
Yes.
Swami,
Beautiful, I think.
sorry. Swami
Go
is,
ahead, auntie.
Swami is giving the analogy of that, how to prepare ghee out of the butter, and the same analogy applies to though Bhagawan, though God is Sarvantaryami, he is omniscient, omnipotent, but to get to that stage, we have to have sadhana. All kinds of spiritual practices should be done. Only then we can reach God. Sairam.
Any other thoughts, comments on this passage?
So in the last Telugu sentence where it says Manavulalo hitamu cheya jaladu, what does that mean again?
It means good cannot be brought forward in human beings by God, though he is everywhere. That's what I think Swami is telling. Unless sadhana upacharamalu are performed. Just like the ghee that we see. Unless the sadhana, which is the churning process, if that doesn't happen, then you cannot see that God within us. So thoughts, questions on this passage? Today weather seems to be very quiet. This is the most common example that Swami picks up, and I'm sure it is very close to his heart also, as Sri Krishna as a cowherd boy who is very closely associated with cows and gopikas. I think this example keeps coming up in many of his discourses. And this concept of oneness, the unity in diversity, if you really see that statement that Swami makes, this unity in diversity, those three words itself has all three philosophies, which is unity, that seeing that oneness is Advaita, accepting that there is diversity through this oneness is Dvaita. Sorry, unity was Advaita, diversity is Dvaita, and seeing that there is a relationship between oneness and the diversity, that is Visishta Advaita. So I think as a Sai devotee, I think we all have heard this statement so many times, unity in diversity. Swami keeps telling us that Swami is in everyone, treat everyone as Swami, including your own self. I think, like Aruna sister rightly mentioned, it's a journey of each and every person, each and every individual from Dvaita, which is identification with the body, using your mind, create a relationship with the Atman, which is Advaita. When we have that relationship between body and Atma through the mind and Buddhi, that is Visishta Advaita. And the moment we forget that we understand that we are not just this body, mind, or Buddhi, but we are Atman. That is, I think, the ultimate state of we becoming Gi. And that understanding, when we put into practice, I think that gives us strength to go forward in our daily lives. That is what I understood from this passage. But I'll request others to share any other thoughts that would have spurred in your mind as this was being read out.
Sorry to ask this question. The Prasthanatraya, one is Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita. What is the third one, please?
Brahma Sutra, ma.
Oh, Brahma Sutra. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, it is Shrutis, which is Vedas, Brahma Sutras, and Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you.
Thoughts?
So, in this metaphor, the cow, is it referring to ourselves or the entire world?
I think it can be taken as both, but I'll request others to share the thoughts. Just fill in the gap. I think from my perspective, cow looks like the Prakriti, which is the diversity, which is nothing but again a representation of that oneness only. So it can be considered our body, which is given for us to do sadhana, or the world in which we live, through which we can offer our sadhanas as service. And the milk in the body is the energy and time that God would have given us. I'm just sharing thoughts. Please interrupt me and share your thoughts as well. Anyone who feels that this is going in wrong direction. So the milk that we have is the energy, the time, the resources, everything that is given to us. And as we boil it with the good thoughts towards God, with love for God, and I think that will bring in the jnana, which is the ghee. And as we use that jnana to perform everything, understanding that that oneness is present in all this diversity that I see around, I think that is truly we are reaching that Advaitic state through all the other phases. That's what I understand. But Mr. Kalyan, you can share your thoughts too. Yeah. If anything else
Thank you
comes to
for that.
mind.
No, that helps me understand it. And I think Aruna, you were going to say something.
I was thinking the cow is we are the as a human people, and we have a divinity within us, but we don't realize it. Like a ghee is part of a cow, but cow is not make use of it for the strength. Likewise, until we realize our divinity within us, we cannot become like a strong in the world to see everything as something for good kind of. So as always is it's we have to do our sadhana to um, see the divinity or realize the divinity within us. Kind of only I am looking at it. Thank you, Saira.
Yes, Satish Anna.
Taram, Taram. So I think in earlier discourses where Swami has mentioned Uddalaka and Shvetaketu, in that case, the example was to show how when we take Sat as water and Chit as sugar, and you mix both, you get Anandam, which is syrup. And that was to show how um, the omnipresence of the Lord is there, that Lord is present in every atom, every particle, everything that is there in the seen and the unseen. And this example where Swami is coming from is the reverse part of it, where one is to show the omnipresence of the Lord, the other is to distill that omnipresence and essence it. And I think that's where, like, just trailing along the thoughts of what Sister Aruna was saying, in this human body that is there, God is there as Angirasa, no doubt. He's present in every anga. He's the one, like what Swami says, the consciousness, the conscience, and the conscious. The conscious is there across all of the senses and so on. But essentially, for us, from that Angirasa, we will have to churn it, curdle it, and using that name and form of the Lord that is there, we can get that ghee which comes back as Satchitananda. And that is where, from the body and the mind, in the vessel of the body, using the mind that is there, you churn along, and then you get back the essence, that ghee, which is the Atmic self. That essence is realized, and when that ghee of the Atmic self, of what Swami says as Divyatma Swarupalara or Prematma Swarupalara, is given back to the body and the mind, then it nourishes the body and the mind to an extent that it's able to perform everything in alignment with the Atman. So just wanted to share how one is perceived as the omnipresence, and how, that is in Uddalaka Shvetaketu, and then how to distill that omnipresence and essence it within our own inner self. Sairam.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing those thoughts. Any other thoughts? Any other comments on this passage?
Sorry, Sairam.
Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie.
This unity in diversity, this harmony in difference, this is the core of the current Bharatiya thought. So, can you just go on? Can you enlarge the meaning of this sentence, please?
This sentence, right, Auntie?
This
This
unity.
unity in diversity, this harmony in difference, this is the core of the current of Bharatiya thought. And Auntie is requesting to elaborate on this particular line. Yes, Satish Anna.
Yeah, I'll just attempt on this one. Swami would use the example of the ocean, wave, and the mist. If you see that, essentially, that Swami would say the qualities of Chellatanamu, like the coolness, uh, all the properties that are there in the ocean essentially are there in the wave and the mist. For the onlooker, it appears that the ocean is one, the wave is one, and the mist is another. But essentially, all the three are one and the same. So even if we take the absolute Advaitic parlines as the ocean, the Vishishtadvaita as the wave, and the Dvaita as the mist, in essence, they
Yeah.
are all part of the same substratum, that is, they belong to the ocean. So everything, even as the ant is experiencing the sugar, how it experiences the sugar is the sweetness, which is Dvaita. By itself, the sugar is Vishishta Dvaita, and we know that the sugarcane juice is Advaita. So essentially, whether it is each of the philosophies, the underlying principle across all the three philosophies of Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, or Dvaita is the sweetness, which is that Paripurna Tattvam, or what we call as Purnamada Purnamidam, and all of that. And that unity in diversity is the thought of Bharatiya Samskriti, because they say that it doesn't matter whether you hold on to Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, or Advaita, you will essence that sweetness. And I think that is where it is that good, better, best, Swami says. It's nothing like something is good or bad. It is always how refined is the thinking, which makes the sweetness, to essence that sweetness becomes more tangible. So, but I'll stop there, Sarah.
Thank you, Satish. So there is harmony in each one of the things what we find in diversity, but that harmony is the basis on which all the philosophies of Vaishishtadvaita or Dvaita or Advaita, they all depend on this core quality of this oneness. That's our Bharatiya thought. I think that's what I have understood. Saira.
Yeah, auntie. Thoughts?
Sarah,
Sorry, brother.
maybe I'm extrapolating a little bit too much, but just thinking about and trying to digest what we're reading, I was just thinking that perhaps the milk in that cow is similar to the atma in the human body, and that atma in the human body also has to be purified, clarified, and churned. And then when we do that process, it's fed back to us. And then when we have the understanding that we are not a body, but truly the Atma, then we can ingest it and utilize that. But prior to that, it exists, but we're not really that conscious of it to the extent that we would be if we examine it the same way that this example of the milk being churned into ghee and then being fed back to the cow. So I was just looking at it and trying to kind of make sense of it in my own consciousness. So I thought I would share that.
Wonderful. Thank you, brother. I think you have done some churning already through this passage. So I think the last sentence here that Kalyani sister, I think, raised earlier, a little more thought to it as I give. I think our Sri Sathya Sai organization also stands a testimony that this process of churning is a successful and time tested method for anyone to realize God within oneself. Because if you see our organization, it has all three wings: the karma, which is the seva activities that we do, the bhakti, everything that is done will have this bhakti, that sweetness that it must have. Without devotion, if we do anything, I think it is meaningless. And the jnana, which is the realization, or I think the churning process through karma and bhakti continuously brings forth that jnana, which is nothing but the ghee. And jnanat kevatu kaivalyam, right? So that itself is liberation. That itself leads one to liberation. And liberation is nothing but moha kshayam is moksha. The removal of delusion that I am this body, I am this mind, I am this buddhi, the removal of that thought itself is moksha. And how does that come? As we churn through these two wheels called karma and bhakti. And I think Swami has created a beautiful model, an excellent model for Kali Yuga, such an easy model, I would say, which can be practiced. And that one sentence, yet he is not amenable to man unless man does sadhana. So if somebody tells us that no, we'll just sit in the forests and do meditation and will not participate, I think that definitely may not work for everyone. Again, we are not anyone to judge anybody here, but I think each of us must continue to do the sadhana the best way that Swami would have told us or prompted within each of us. So I think beautiful sentence, and sadhana seems to be the most effective way to realize ourselves. If we do not have any other thoughts, we move to the next passage. Yes, Satishanna.
Saram, Sitaram. I was just going to say, incidentally, in like today's study circle we had at the center for this week's discourse, Swami talks about the lamp. He says you have the lamp of detachment, and in the lamp of detachment, you should have the oil of karma, the wick of bhakti, and then when you have this detachment, karma, and bhakti, then the jnana jyoti, God will strike. So essentially, even as you are saying, even for us to do karma, bhakti, to get that jyoti of jnana, we have to do it in a container, in the lamp of detachment. And so establishing ourselves in that, if we attach ourselves to God, then we become detached from the world. And through that process of staying in attachment with the Lord, staying in that unity, which is what we should essence from the diversity, then karma, bhakti is done, automatically jnana flows. So just wanted to reiterate that, Saira.
Beautiful, Anna. Thank you for adding those. Another analogy that Swami used to explain this concept.
Sairam,
Yes, Auntie.
that detachment, what Sai Satish was mentioning, detachment in the doing karma, not expecting any fruits from nishkama karma. Whatever action we are doing, don't expect any fruit from it. That is detachment. In that detachment, if you put that oil of bhakti, if we put the devotion as the oil, then the wick will be Gnana Jyoti. It will just come. So the basic principle, what Lord Krishna and Swami Sai Krishna also said, that do Nishkama Karma. The first step is, when while doing the karma, don't expect any fruits from the actions which we do. So there it starts, then the karma will automatically, we do all actions. And then as the ghee in it or the oil in it. And then the wick, the Gnana Jyoti will definitely brighten our lives. Saira.
Beautiful. Just continuing on that trail a little more and coming back to this passage, the thought that Mani Auntie or Satishana just shared is again based on Prasthanatrayas, and let me explain why. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. The source of this particular shloka is Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is part of Prasthanatrayas, and hence whatever Swami is telling, both in Dwapara Yuga or Kali Yuga, they're all in unison, saying that this oneness, this one current which is across all the bulbs, irrespective of their voltages or the watts that they go bright, that current, that unity is the real essence of this Bharatiya culture, which is Bharatiya Paramartha Vahini, is what Swami is telling in Telugu as well as here. This is the core of the current of Bharatiya thought. So probably I think we have churned enough from this passage. If anyone else has any thoughts, please feel free to share. Yes, Shivadasanna.
Sister Manibhasyam gave an explanation about detachment. So she said detachment for the fruit of the action. But yeah, that is true, no doubt. But detachment from the worldly object is very important for the jnana to blossom. No? So sense control, detachment is vairagya. No? So vairagya is sense control, and if we are bound to the world, then that is a very important part for the jnana to blossom. So that I am saying that the detachment which Sai spoke should cover that part. That's a very important part, I think. The sense control, worldly attachment cannot help us to get a jnana. No? That's what I like to say that. And also, last time I mentioned this one. No? For our liberation. Liberation means we are already liberated, but the cutting to feel that we are not the body, not the mind, and everything. For that liberation, we have to do sadhana. The last line is saying, no, he is not amenable to man unless man does sadhana. So why does man do sadhana? He has an aim. The aim is to free himself from this wrong notion that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the world. So there's an aim, and there's an aim. We want to achieve that aim. So always we have an aim for an action. Only that we may not be affected by the result, but we always have an aim. No? What's the purpose of aim of this coming to this study circle? We have an aim is that there. So the fruit should be we must not be affected by the fruit of the action. But so anyone, every farmer goes to the field and do the cultivation with the aim of that. But he should not be affected if the harvest is not good. No? So likewise, for the final consummation of our life, we must have an aim and work for it and get it achieved. So that point also there, So when we say Niskama, I know Sister Manimasi spoke the good part of that one, but I am just saying that because people sometimes they don't understand what is Niskama Karma, no?
Beautiful. Thank you, brother. Yeah, that clarifies a little more on the concept of vairagya. Thank you. Aruna sister?
Okay, Saram, brother. Just a thought here. I don't know whether it's a right thing to say at this point of time. See, the niskama karma, for that, you have to have a devotion first, right? Am I right or not? Without that, you cannot do a nishkama karma because that knowledge you have to have. So I thought I'd just to add it because we always say karma as a first thing. No, for karma to do and offer without being attached to the fruit, you have to have the devotion. Every step you have to have the jnana, but in order to start even anywhere, I think devotion is the key, I think. Just I thought to add that. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, sister. I think Swami, in one of his discourses, defined detachment. The definition of detachment is attachment to God. Once one is attached to God, that is detachment itself. So, and Swami tells detachment is the easiest thing. Obviously, for all of us, it is very tough. But Swami just shows a kerchief and if you hold the kerchief for longer time, it actually pains us, the arm pains. But the moment you leave it, that is detachment. Swami tells so. It is like this, you'll get detachment, but I think all of us are still struggling, obviously, because that vessel is not dry enough to keep that wick of bhakti and light the lamp of jnana. And that wetness is nothing but the world that is coming again and again into this vessel of our mind and contaminating it. And I think we all know the three concepts. I'm sure we have discussed in this study circle itself number of times about Paka Shuddhi, Patra Shuddhi, and Padartha Shuddhi, the purity of the vessel, the content, as well as whatever is the thing that we want to cook in it, which is the ghee that we want to bring out of the milk. The moment the world enters it, it's like a drop of poison which is entering into the milk. Whether it is a glass of milk or hundreds of thousands of gallons of milk, one drop of poison is enough for it to be contaminated, and then it is not qualified as vairagya. And I think sadhana is a continuous churning, continuous clarification and purification of our own thoughts, so that that vessel of mind is clean and pure, and into which bhakti would automatically be a wick, and jnana is the lamp that will light and show us the path. I think, shall we move to the next paragraph?
Just one
I think
question,
getting a lot of
and
ghee.
just
Yeah, go ahead.
based on the discussion here, I just wanted to ask if, like, how do we keep the worldly, like the water of, worldly desires or attachment out, especially, when we are in satsang or when we're doing something like study circle or bhajans, it's easy to focus on God, but when you're in a social gathering where you'll be encountering all different types of people, how do you not allow that water to enter the vessel?
Beautiful question, sister. Any thoughts? I think even in bhajans also, it is sometimes tough to concentrate. So let's not even discount that opportunity to improve ourselves. But let's see what others have to share. Any thoughts, any suggestions, or any practical tips that you all follow on
Yes.
how do
And
you stay
is it
connected?
possible for you to revamp the question, please?
Sure. So sister is telling that we have this lamp of Vairagya, but that lamp is getting drenched again and again in the water of world. How do we ensure that it is dry and pure always? Because in bhajans or in satsangs like this, we keep reminding that yes, our aim, like how Shivadas brother was telling, our aim is liberation. So let us all work for it together. But when we go for some parties or for some marriage functions that we all attended recently, how do we ensure that we do not forget God? We continue to churn within ourselves and ensure the wick of devotion is there and the lamp of jnana is being lit even through those situations. That's the question. Yes, Shivani sister, sorry for keeping you waiting.
No, not waiting. This is something taking me back 5 years ago. And I think I asked in the study circle as well. Not study circle, I think I called Brother Aruna and I asked him what happened. Went to a marriage. It was really at a very high standard, and people there, the discussions and how people were dressed up and all that was just about Maya and all this, the gifts and the jewelry. When I came back and I said, oh my God, how I'm going to do my daughter's wedding. And this is a lot. And here I'm talking about Bhagawan and all of those things. And my mind for a month, it was so trapped into all Maya. I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to buy all of that. And I was so disturbed because it was pulling me in these two directions. Literally, I could see one is Bhagawan, another one is Maya. And I called Brother Aruno.
And I said, I'm very disturbed. I'm very, very disturbed. I don't know what to do. And something he said, and it has worked. It has been 6 years. I will say my daughter got married last year. The way we did, the way we planned, that really helped me stay calm, stay focused on Swami, and he just let it happen. What he told me is, when you go in a mela, in some what is it called? Any festival?
Fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're a child, you think you might get lost. What you do, you ask Bhagawan, can you please hold my hand and walk with me? It might sound very, but it resonated with me. And it has been 5 years, even going to a dinner party. I know there are a lot of people, those who don't believe. I'm not saying they're bad or good. It's everybody's journey. Everybody will have a path. You don't know. In 1 second, they might be a realized soul than I am. But I always say, Bhagwan, can you please take me? Whatever the discussions is healthy for me, I should only hear that, nothing else. And it's been 5, 6 years, it works all the time. Every time I just hold his hand and I said, just work, come with me. I don't want to get astray from the path. And imagine that my daughter, when she got married, I just keep Bhagwan the focus. And it was so nice, whether I may not did to the level of our family does, but at the end of the wedding, I felt so content, so peaceful, nothing disturbed me, because I felt he was with me and he planned everything. It helped me. I'm just saying, very practical. Sorry, I took long, but this is something very simple, but very practical.
Beautiful. Thank you, sister, for sharing that. Any other thoughts, suggestions? Yes, Aruna, sister.
Hi, Ram. Just sharing. Yes, we have all these worldly activities comes in our way, which we cannot avoid based on some of the where we are now, right? So, in order to manage that, only thing I keep that in mind is, every action or everything I do, I will question myself to keep myself focus with Swami. But at the same time, I do the things others expect, not to the level of that, at least just to, I don't want to be isolate. I will focus. I don't that's how I can put it in my words. Because I think it's totally in the world you cannot detach like from the worldly activities outside how you do with your body, but mind wise I think you can be always focused. You think I am looking around, that doesn't mean I'm looking around for something. I am looking around with the, I don't see anything. In that sense itself, I will have a focus on Swami. I'm saying some things, I'm saying like that, yeah, kind of thing. But I am not dwelling on that. Just saying things and moving on. But my focus, I think, mind wise, you have that focus. That's the only thing I think, on my perspective, we can do at this point. I don't know. I also would like to know from others too how to be like a really what others are doing too. This is the way I do. I'm just sharing. Thank you, Sarah.
Sairam, sister. Yes, Shivani, sister.
Just sorry, I'm talking too much. Just
No
to add
problem.
one point which I have observed. Uh, when you are on that path, as we are saying the Maya phrase, in that journey, uh, we have to be ready. And when I'm saying to lose some of our the closeness with with people, those who are not aligned with, because you will start seeing people are just going away. If there are 10 people, only at the end 2 people will stay closer to you. We should be ready for, you know be just with 2 people, because it's not aligning now. The thinking, the discussions, everything is a little bit different than who you were if we are progressing. So we should be ready to lose those friends or the discussions, and not being part of some of those social gathering because now you're so we have to be ready for that. That's what I have learned, that you started, it's not isolation, it's nothing, but now the path is a little different. So as we have said, when you're closer to Bhagavan, of course, then the Maya part has to be little distance from you. That's what it happened in my life. If there were 10 people around me, maybe now just 2 or 3, but I'm happy. Am I happy with that? That's the question. Sairam.
Sairam, sister. Thank you. Satishana?
Sitaram, Sitaram. So I think in cases where we can absolutely avoid, of course, we avoid. But I think Sister Kalyani is coming from where you have to be present there. And when you're present there, how to be absent. And I think that's where I think every thought that comes, usually it's like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Kind of a thing. Many times it's like, can I tag my thought, either pre-tag it or at the end of that thought, if I can ascend Swami, in the sense that Ramana Maharishi would say that if you take this fertile land of the mind and you have the furrow, and so long as you don't mount the furrow, you don't till the land. So you have to be a witness. But then how do I be a witness? Because it's like so much discussion happens, so much of conversations all around, and you get pulled in all directions. So I may have to stop being a witness. I may have to mount the furrow. And I know that when I'm mounting the furrow, I'm going to till the land. So I'm going to start creating all of those patterns. So can I make Swami a co-companion, like what Sister Shivani also was saying? Like hold Swami's hand. Can I get Swami to that dining table where I'm sitting with all the people and all kinds of conversations go on? Can I feel Swami seated there? And then even as I feel Swami seated there on the outside, I sense it with a dialogue on the inside. And I tag that thought. Either I use a prefix or a suffix and bring in Swami into that. So I say, Swami, this is what is happening, or this is what is happening, Swami. So what do I do, kind of a thing. So yeah, the expectations are pretty high. Swami is saying, Mam anusmara yuddhya. Like even in the battle, you're expected to think in the thick of battle. He's telling Arjuna, you're firing arrows on all sides, and you have to remember me. So the bar is very high. If that is the standard set for the devotee by the Lord, then I think it's the same thing. How much can I pull Swami into the thought that has already started creating a lot of furrows in my mind? How can I pull Swami into that and hold on to that so that slowly the rest of the thing goes away? So yeah, I think essentially if you sit there and close your eyes for some time, people leave you alone. So that is one way of doing it. Yeah. But I think like today also we were having a discussion on the center. Like there was this thing, when I see a green light turn amber, what's my instinct? My instinct is hit the gas pedal so I cross the thing. Or can I hit the brake and say, hey, I got some time to do Namasmarana here. So every time I see a green turn amber, I'm happy that I'm getting some time to sit back on the red signal and do Namasmarana so that my whole life itself becomes green, right? So every opportunity of anything turning amber to red, we use it as a thing to essence the Lord and stay connected. As much as we stay connected, I think, like, yeah, what Sitaram also was saying, you're attached to God, you detach from world. So you may be in the thick of things, but if I attach to that name and the form, then I think the clutter around will slowly, with practice, Abhyasa Yogena, fall aside. But yeah, but that's more of a little of theoretical part. I'll stop here. Sorry.
Right, Ramana. Thank you. Yes, Shivadasana.
Yeah, I want to say, but everybody made their points good. We can do two ways of looking at this congregation, the people gathering now. First of all, why am I separating them from me, for example? Everybody is God. There's nothing in the world other than God. So everybody is a form of God, but different space towards God, towards the maturity. So we have to sympathize with each and everybody, you know. So if suppose one man is, whatever the level of that person is, I don't mind. He is God actually. If in true sense, he is high, you know. So that is one way of looking at it, and another way of looking at it is treating it as an illusion also. Say illusion. This is not true actually. True in the sense, either way we can take it. Either you have to take it as this is a Maya part, which I should not attach. So, as Sister Aruna and Sai Sadi said, we can be absent, no? Even among the midst of the people, we can be absent provided we treat it as Maya. It's not true. It's not lasting. It is not going to last. It is not going to come with me, no? So that is one part. The other part, other side of the coin is everything is God. Why should I hate? Why should I? Somebody may be fully worldly. They are talking about houses and buying cars and everything. That why I don't mind it. Let him grow like that with this desire, no? So to know that there's only one entity, wherever where I cast my eye, so that I will not be affected at all, no, at all. So maybe a question will be there that how to get to that attainment of that understanding, no. So the beautiful example, Ramakrishna Paramsa said, everybody will know that before you cut open the jackfruit, put oil to your hand. Put oil to your hand, then you cut open the jackfruit, then the sticky milk will not stick to my hand, no? So what Ramakrishna said is, practice austerity, whatever it is, right from the beginning. So, but Kalyani is started already, you know? So she will definitely succeed. So, when I what for in the middle. So for the middle, in the middle, if we are caught in the middle, it's difficult actually. For some time back, I also I hated going among the people for some time. Then I more and more I read Bhagawan and I understand he is everywhere in everybody. So I don't. It is not a problem for me. I can be absent when I am present. And then I said, no. But for Sai students like you, like you, Sadi, Sanjay is not in today, I think. So you were in that atmosphere totally, you know. So Sai Sadi spoke for others, I think. So even Sister Maima, she is right from the beginning, and she is there, and her song is still there, and everything. You know? So it is easy for them. That's what my point here. Thank you, sir.
Excellent points, brother. Thank you. Aruna sister.
Siren, brother. The other part of it is only yourself know what you are really doing, right? Really saying. In spirituality is you and your Lord is the connection is. Nobody cannot say, oh, you are doing that, this and all. You are not supposed to do for others also. Anything spirituality is for your own progress, right? So as long as you focus yourself only and others, as Brother Sivada said, see as God in everyone and give the deal with them, then that way they are also learning something from you. So you are serving them, right? With your good qualities or good thoughts, you are able to spread it, right? But what you do, what the things that you do is you only know. Whatever with the good things it comes out, it has an impact with others too, surrounding too. So Spirituality always is you and Swami, you and God only. And for others, it's an opportunity to mingle. And mingle means it's a serva kind of, you can look at it. And your good vibes, like good thoughts, sometime may change somebody or something like that. We can take it like that in living in the world, or if we have to mingle certain places, we can take that as an opportunity. That's all. That's the way I'm thinking. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, Mr. Sairam. Any other thoughts? Yes, Shivani sister.
After this, I'll just shut my mouth.
Oh, no, go ahead, sister.
It reminds me something, and I think everybody really talk about. Of course, we should see Bhagawan and in our sadhana. I don't know how many of you know Dr. Shrikant Sola. And
Mhm.
long back, I was listening to him when he migrated to India from the US. And in his old videos, he shared when he went there, Bhagwan asked him, I don't know, it's a year or a couple years, do not meet with anyone. He was in sadhana until you're so strong enough that you can see God in everyone, or otherwise, he could have got, he's a doctor profession. He might get perturbed or disturbed seeing people's illness, or, also Bhagwan asked him, apart from your own parents, do not see anybody until you reach to that level where you can just witness the situation, where you can do your inner core will not disturb with the disturbance outside. So he was exactly with our this last sentence, unless man does sadhana. It's so relevant. The sadhana because once you are, I don't know how to express, when you're continuing your sadhana, but at the same time, the other until we are strong enough to detach ourselves with the situation. I'm not in part of it. Of course, with age, we become, oh, I'm going to, I'm age, and you become detached, not with the age. At the young age, if we can start detaching, that's a real sadhana, right? That's what Bhagwan was telling him, do not meet. So I believe this is my personal thing that until we reach to the level, we need to have a sadhana which will not be disturbed by other factors, right? Whatever sadhana, one sadhana, and I remember in our study circle a couple of years back, what is sadhana? Sadhana is not just the likhita japam. Sadhana is not just the singing bhajan. Sadhana is where you are connecting with God at every act. Even if when I'm writing likhita japam, am I connecting with Swami in my body, in my mind, in my soul level? That sadhana will definitely speed up or maybe help us to realize him or control our mind. I'm so sorry, I'm talking too much.
That's okay, sister. Thank you for sharing and volunteering. Otherwise, you'll be hearing only our voices today. So, I will talk a little more. I'll share two instances from a couple of devotees' lives. One is an MBA professor in our Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. So once he had an interview, he's a very intense, I would say, an expressive devotee of Bhagavan. His name was Professor Bhagia, and he was always looking for liberation. He has achieved a lot of accolades in the field of chemistry and in management. When he came to Bhagavan as a devotee, Swami assigned him a role of professor. He teaches quantitative analysis for MBA boys. And one fine day, Swami was inside the interview room, and he barged into the interview room and he asked Swami, Swami, I want liberation. I do not want to teach anyone. This is disturbing my sadhana. I cannot teach your students. Every day they ask different questions and it is disturbing my own balance and my connection with you. As soon as he said this, Swami became very angry. I think we have narrated this in this study circle probably 4 or 5 years ago, if I'm not wrong. Just repeating that. Swami with very angry look, stares at him and says that if you distinguish between worldly work and Swami's work, even after 1,000 janmas, I will not grant you liberation. Okay. And Swami continues to tell that, and he starts sobbing because here is the authority which is telling that I am not going to grant you liberation. There are two things that we can observe here. One is Swami is telling no distinction between what is world versus what is Swami. And the other very important factor that we might miss very easily is he is the one who grants liberation. And Swami said this statement saying that carry me with you wherever you go, and that becomes Swami's work. Leave me out of that and it becomes world's work. So this is one of the instances that I thought I should share. And the other instance, because we have I think gone through so many theoretical responses as well as some practical suggestions. So these are some real devotees examples. So there is one brother in Radio Sai whose father has been serving in one of the Central Trust offices for a very long time. And towards, I think when he reached his 90s or so, maybe, very advanced age, 85 above, Swami asked this boy to call his father and they went to the interview room. And Swami told his father, do not do any more service. Just go sit outside your residence every evening, drink a cup of coffee, take proper rest, and whomever you see me in them and say Sai Ram with a smile. I will grant you liberation. And he has done that, and he has, I think, passed away as well. And Swami has confirmed to that son, saying that he is with me. So, how does one define what sadhana one must follow to get liberation? On one side, one person has to teach the students to get liberation. On another side, one person has to just sit with a cup of coffee, and say Sai Ram to every person and see Swami in him with a smile. So, how does one define that this is what will connect to Swami and this is what will grant liberation? And I think the answer, I think it has already come out during this discussion. I think one of us mentioned the connection between you and God is one to one. Whether you are in a party, whether you are in a toilet, whether you are in a mandir, Swami is with us. You call it Sai Rama, you call it Rama, you call it Krishna, you call any name, Allah, Jesus, Buddha. But the relationship that we have maintained with that particular Lord within ourselves, who is sitting in that single seat sofa, if that sofa is empty, anything else will start coming and sitting there. A fly can come, a snake can come, the world can come and sit in that place. And hence, always keep that single seat sofa clean and pure, just like the vessel of Vairagya that we were mentioning earlier, and continuously purify it with devotion, the water of devotion. Continuously wash his feet because every breath that we take, I think there are a lot of songs also. I think like Shivani sister, the first incident that you mentioned, that reminded me of the song. In every moment of my life, please be with me. In every single act of mine, be thou my guide. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that song. Students sing this very often in front of Swami, and Swami used to love this song. So I think to Sister Kalyani's question, there is no one answer that can be generalized for how we can be connected to Swami, irrespective of the location or a person that we meet. It is our own judgment because it is I and Swami who decides. This is the contract between you and me, Swami, right? And we decide, am I connected or not? Nobody else can measure that. It is only you and only me who can measure with my Swami, and it is you with your Swami. I think with those thoughts, I'll stop there. It goes on otherwise. There are so many other examples, but Swami has always told maintain that one to one relationship. You're at 4:19. What time do we stop usually, sister?
Very
Have you
nice,
overshot?
very nice,
4:30.
Brother Sitaram.
4:30
Very nice.
usually stop.
Brother,
4:30?
Sitaram, I missed in the half an hour, no? I joined 3:30, no? So, I don't know, this was taken up in the last time study circle. There's a condition, no? The Bhagavad Gita comes in the middle, and Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, and then Brahma Sutra order. So, was it discussed here today?
No, we did not.
Yeah, okay. You know that I wonder, two cycles back, I asked brother, I don't know then, about this, and he said he is not sure about that. Then I went back, the discourse, volume 20, second chapter, discourse 2. It was for the Sadhu Samajam, the ascetics associations. Then Bhagavan is saying that everybody can go and listen to that, his voice also. His voice is very clear, and he says, Upanishads Saramu Bhagavad Gita, he says. And the Brahma Sutram is a Rasamu, he says. Yeah, these are the Telugu words, okay. But English translation is not good. But, and also, Bharatiya culture has Vedas as the Moolam, he says. And from Vedas emerged Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Upanishads, the Saram, and then he says Brahma Sutram is Rasam, Bhagavad Gita's Rasam, he says.
Oh.
I don't know what is the essence and what is Rasam, and so, but the translator, Nanjundaya, I think he said essence. Then he said very essence of Brahma Sutra. The Brahma Sutram is the very essence of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why Bhagavan here also in this book also he has put it in the middle. Say the Nimirundadiya something. It comes in the
Nadumanide. Naduma means ends. Yeah.
Naduma. So Naduma is the
between.
So that is one way. And also in the discourse, Bhagavan is saying, Saravana Manana Nidhyasana, at the time when he says, next line he says, Upanishads for Manana, and then he says, Brahma Sutra for Upanishad for Saravana, and then he says, Brahma Sutra for Manana, then he says, Bhagavad Gita is for Nidhyasana. Also, we say the order is they are changing. So, brother said, chronology, because Vyasa did the both work now. So,
yeah, it overlapped.
Yeah, overlapped. Yeah. If you,
Yes,
Sitaram has any insight,
yes,
better we have it.
Sure, Anna. I will share. Once Satishan, you had something to add, Anna?
Yeah, I was just saying, I think I kind of got what's the cow and the ghee. So the cow may be the Vedas, and then if you go to the Upanishads, you get the milk, and then from there you go to the Brahma Sutras, you get the butter, and from there you get the ghee of Bhagavad Gita, kind of a thing. So you could traverse that way. I think the order could be here and there.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to go along because the Saram is again, yeah, we can say essence kind of a thing. And rasam, we say raso vaisaha. Raso vaisaha, when you put the rasam in that way, the rasam is more all pervasive. So when you take the Brahma Sutra, so it for me, the order looks from Upanishads, what was distilled was Brahma Sutras, and from Brahma Sutras, what was further distilled as the essence is Bhagavad Gita. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong here totally. But I was seeing that as the thing of how you go again in the context of the cow to the ghee, but I will stop here.
You must check that volume 20, second discourse. So better you check it, and because
Sure.
yeah.
We'll go through that. Maybe we'll bring that reference again next week. Clarify.
Oh, okay. There is time, I think. But just I will read it out.
Go ahead, Auntie.
Okay.
Yes, Auntie. Go ahead, Auntie.
Gita Dhyana Shlokam, this come Sarvopanishado Gavo, Dhogda Gopala Nandanaha, Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahate. That is what Swami is here. All the Upanishads are the cows. And the son of the cowherd family in Krishna is the milkman. Partha is the calf. Men of purified intellect are the enjoyers. And the supreme nectar of the Gita is the milk. That's what in Gita Dhyana Shloka. So, Sarva Upanishad Gavo. All the Upanishads are the cows his way in Dhyana Shloka. And the son of the cowherd family is Krishna, Lord Krishna. He is the milkman. And Partha is the calf. Let us take all of us are calf. And men of purified intellect are the enjoyers. And the supreme nectar of the Gita is the milk. That is what Sai Satish was trying to say. I remembered the shloka, so I just read it out to you. May not.
Thank you, Auntie.
Okay.
Thank you, Auntie. That was useful. Yes, that was helpful to correlate whatever has been discussed. I think one other thought about the order that Swami has mentioned in Sathya Sai Vahini of Prasthanatraya, Shrutis, Shrutulu, Brahma Sutramulu, and Bhagavad Gita. If you really see, Shrutis are formless. They've been heard. The Vedas have been heard. Nobody has seen the Vedas. So that is, if you see the real Atman, which you cannot see with your senses, but you're able to hear your conscience continuously. That represents the Atman, which is Advaita. The second is Brahma Sutras. Sutra is nothing but a string, right? And Brahma is that principle. So the string that connects between Advaita, which is Shrutis, which is formless, and Bhagavad Gita. The moment we say Bhagavad Gita, Gita is a song sung by God, right? So we are saying that Bhagavad Gita, that means somebody has seen God singing a song to a devotee, which is Arjuna in this case. So you're seeing God and devotee, which is diversity, which is Dvaita. And Brahma Sutra ensures that it strings back that principle between devotee and God and goes back to Shrutis, which is formless, which is Advaita. So the order in which it has been told, I think that Sara, which Swami has mentioned, which appeared to be different for different chronological order, it seems to be the Saram seems to be present in all three forms. Shrutis also have Saram. Brahma Sutra is also Saram. And Bhagavad Gita is also Saram. But the way in which it has been delivered is different. And hence, I think in one of the previous paragraphs also, Swami is mentioning that saying one of these, attributing one of this Siddhanta to Vedanta, Vedanta is the Saram, that everything that ends up is the Saram, the essence. The end of everything, that is that essence that we are looking at. And Swami is telling in the previous paragraph that attributing only Advaitic philosophy to Vedanta is a mistake. And similarly, only Dvaitic philosophy or Vishishtadvaita saying that it belongs to Vedanta is a mistake. And therefore, the Saram is present across Shrutis, Brahma Sutras, as well as Bhagavad Gita. That is the thought that went through my mind. I thought I'll just share. I don't know how much it made sense, but wanted to ensure that I also show some of my ignorance here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Sairam. Yes, Satishana, you have one more minute.
Yeah, I know we have to wind up. So the whole effort is to get the saram from the rasam, right? Saram from rasam. So I think that's where the journey keeps happening, that you have to keep distilling it. So it's there across all the formats, well, like what you were saying, Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, everything is there. But time and again, the person has to do the taruva taruva puttu, and once you do taruva taruva puttu, then it goes from the saram to get the rasam. So I think that's where it, or rather, you go from rasam to get the saram of that rasam. Yeah, but I'll stop, Saram.
Sairam, thank you.
Yes.
I think the essence of today's discussion was, in one sentence, be in the world, but don't allow the world to be inside you. We will end with that thought, with Samastaloka. Samastaloka sukino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Baba Ji ki
Yeah.
Jai. Sairam everyone. Thank you.
Sairam.
Um,